So I just think that this one thing that I've learned the most out of the entire surrogacy will be the number one fight diffuser, if you will. Makes you a better person, puts things into perspective, redefines what love is, an overall quality that you're gonna want for any relationship. Love is so selfless. Yeah, so you just gotta pinch a patty. Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today is my birthday. I am just reflecting on this past year, and one of them being the surrogacy. And I know that in past videos I had talked about the fact that this surrogacy process has taught me so much, has really revealed a lot of things that I maybe knew I know, but now I know it in a different way. And so I thought that I would share one of those things that has really impacted my life in such a different way through the surrogacy process. And I know I was pretty vague when I said that I was, learning all these things. I really wanted to focus on the surrogacy and that process first, and the emotions that were going on, from that process, and then talk about the things that I've learned after they happened. So first thing is that I knew when I decided that I would want to do surrogacy, that meant sacrifice. And when I talk about sacrifice, I mean that one of those things was sacrificing my own timeline. So when if you were ever thinking about becoming a surrogate, or you've heard of someone wanting to do surrogacy, or you've seen a story about surrogacy, you are taking your timeline, your schedule, your life, and kind of putting it on a back burner so that you can focus and commit into pregnancy for someone else. So that requires a lot of sacrifice, and I talked about this in, the contracts and the counseling, but when you're going through doing these contracts, they go into detail on like, where are you going to go for vacation? How far are you going to go for this vacation? What you eat, all those kind of little details that you would think maybe, oh, well, that's my life. I can choose what I want to do because really all I'm doing is carrying a baby. But when you think about it, that's not your baby. So you're sacrificing your timeline, your schedule, your agenda, the things you do, and how you do them, so that you can focus and commit on this pregnancy. Anyway, so I knew I was going to do that, and that I would have to do that 100%. And I guess the one thing that I learned the most out of this whole process is that, we go through friendships and relationships and marriages and, these relationships with people, thinking that we really know what love is. And to be honest, I don't think we fully understand the grasp of what love is. I'm a religious person, I'm a Christian, and when I think about how God loves me, to some extent I feel like I have a grasp on the full picture, but really I don't. And the reason why I've come to this conclusion is because we talk about quite often in the church that God loves us no matter what, and that He sacrificed His Son so that He can save us and free us, and so that we can fully understand His love by sacrificing His own Son. And that's huge, right? So we know all these things about God, and I think, in our relationship with God in particular, we're not perfect. We will make mistakes. And so, we kind of go into the cycle of, well, I sinned, you ask for forgiveness, He forgives you, it's all good, and, at some point it happens again. Or, and we try in the midst of those phases and those periods or those seasons in our lives to become better, because we know that he loves us and he's always loving on us and is always wanting to love on us. And so I think, us as Christians, we're always fighting to want to love him the way he loves us. The one thing that I just really feel like I understood it in a different way is the fact that love is so selfless. When we have our friendships or relationships or marriages, how much of that relationship are you going into it selflessly? Because I think it's so easy, we always think on the me and what am I getting out of love, but I think the mentality and the mindset behind it is, what am I doing to love? And I'm still trying to perfect this. I'm no expert in any way. My marriage has its ups and downs, and we try to work them out and try to learn from it. But really, one of the things that I'm just constantly in my mind is what am I doing, or what can I do really to love on him, and not thinking about what do I get back in return, what do I get out of it, but really how can I make that person feel loved. So I just want to encourage you and remind you that that is how God feels about us. He is not, waiting on what is she doing to love me. That is never a thought in his mind. What is on his mind is, what can I do to love on her? How can I show her that I love her? And that may be people that come into your life. That may be, something that happens randomly to you, but is actually something pretty divine. Or, through something happening in the season of your life that changes and shifts in a way that you could not control. I think that's the thing, the things that we think we can control, or the things that we know we can't control, are sometimes the biggest signs of how God loves us. Because really, those things are out of our hands. So who else is taking control of that? And I know that during this surrogacy process, so many things were out of my control. And that was hard for me to understand how that was part of God's plan. But really, in the midst of the confusion and the frustration and the anger, and also sadness after, knowing that I wasn't pregnant and having to give that news to the intended parents, I really had not come to the conclusion that God was just loving on me in a way that I would never understand before. The fact that his love is so selfless. He is not a God who is waiting to punish me, who is waiting to, waiting for me to serve him in order for him to love me. The only thought in his heart, in his mind, his being is all about loving me, loving you, and loving others. So I'm just going to recommend a book. Actually, I'm going to recommend 2 books. And the first book is from Gary Chapman, and that is The 5 Love Languages. This book is life-changing. It really shifts your mindset on how you love on other people and how people love on you. Honestly, it has been a game changer on how I love on my husband and also how I handle my relationships with other people. And the second book recommendation I have for you is for anyone who is in a relationship or is married. It's a book by Jefferson Bethke and Alyssa Bethke, and it's called 31 Ways to Love and Encourage Him and Her. It's 2 books in one. This is just a way to focus on them and how to love them within 31 days. Obviously, it can be extended if you know, whatever. Anyways, it's just The book is challenging because it gives you different ways to love on your person, and I just think that it's such a great idea. Honestly, it shifts the focus on you and puts the focus on them, and I just think that that is so important in love, in relationships, in friendships, is that, you know, you become selfless. And honestly, when you've become a person that has focused on having a relationship that is selfless, you become a better person. You become kinder, you become gentle, you become patient, like, because then it's reciprocated back when they see that you're not trying to get something out of it, you're not doing it out of your own agenda, but you're doing it because you just love them and because you care for them, because they are first. You're putting the priority on them and loving them. It just changes the dynamic of your relationship. I'm taking this year with that in mind, that, you know, just like in my surrogacy, I've got to put my mindset on being selfless. And I think that, and I hope that my relationships with my friends and my family members will be better because I'm not focusing on what I'm getting out of it and what I want, which I have done in the past, I'll admit. Like, sometimes in the midst of like fights or something that annoys you, you instantly go to, why are they being so selfish? You go to your own thoughts and how you're feeling. And love isn't that way. It's about, you know, giving all you can to that person and not expecting anything back. That's a pinch of Patty. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is every day, as everyone says. So cliche. That's my little thought and rant. If you like this video, please click a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below and share it. And I will see you again for another video. Thanks. Bye.